Welcome to the Compact History podcast from compacthistory.com, where we unpack the past in smart, snack-sized episodes. This is episode 100, The History of Homo Sapiens. For hundreds of thousands of years, Homo sapiens have shaped the planet and been shaped by it. From early tool use and the harnessing of fire to the development of agriculture, cities, and eventually global civilization, our story is one of adaptation, innovation, and profound change. This is the history of Homo sapiens, the only surviving species of the genus Homo, and how we came to dominate the Earth. The story of Homo sapiens begins in Africa, roughly 300,000 years ago. Fossil evidence, such as the Jebel Irhoud remains in Morocco, indicates that our species evolved from earlier hominins, such as Homo heidelbergensis. These ancestors exhibited increasingly complex behaviors, such as the use of tools and possibly early forms of language. Unlike previous species, early Homo sapiens displayed a combination of modern anatomical traits, such as a rounded skull, reduced brow ridge, and behavioral characteristics, including symbolic thinking and sophisticated planning. This cognitive leap is often referred to as the human revolution, a period during which art, personal ornamentation, and complex tools began to appear more frequently. The African landscape was a crucible of evolutionary pressure. Shifting climates and diverse ecosystems required flexibility and ingenuity. Homo sapiens developed social bonds and early forms of cooperation that helped ensure survival under challenging conditions. Through these adaptations, they gained a crucial advantage over other hominins. Around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began migrating out of Africa in waves. Genetic evidence supports a major exodus through the Arabian Peninsula, possibly facilitated by lower sea levels during glacial periods. From there, our ancestors spread rapidly across the globe. In Asia, they encountered new terrains and climates, adapting their lifestyles accordingly. By 50,000 years ago, they had reached Australia, likely via coastal routes using rudimentary boats or rafts, a feat that speaks to their expanding cognitive and navigational abilities. Europe was colonized around 45,000 years ago, where Homo sapiens encountered and eventually replaced Neanderthals. Although the reasons for the Neanderthals' extinction are debated, interbreeding did occur. Today, many people of Eurasian descent carry Neanderthal DNA. By 15,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had reached the Americas via a land bridge that once connected Siberia and Alaska. In just a few thousand years, they spread across both continents, hunting megafauna and establishing complex societies. From the Arctic Circle to the Amazon rainforest, Homo sapiens proved remarkably adept at thriving in vastly different environments. For the majority of their existence, Homo sapiens lived as hunter-gatherers. But around 12,000 years ago, a profound transformation occurred, the advent of agriculture. This Neolithic revolution began independently in several regions, including the Fertile Crescent, China, Mesoamerica, and the Andes. People began domesticating plants like wheat, barley, rice, and maize, as well as animals such as sheep, cattle, and pigs. This allowed for food surpluses, which in turn supported larger, more stable populations. Permanent settlements grew into villages, towns, and eventually cities. Agriculture also brought about significant changes in human health, diet, and social structure. While it enabled population growth, it also introduced new challenges, including disease, social inequality, and environmental degradation. This shift marked a critical turning point. For the first time, humans were actively shaping the landscape to meet their needs, rather than merely adapting to it. The development of irrigation, the plough, and crop rotation systems dramatically increased productivity. Over time, agricultural societies developed writing systems, complex religions, and political hierarchies. The rise of agriculture laid the foundation for early civilizations. Between 4000 and 2000 BCE, complex societies emerged in Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and China. These cultures developed writing, law codes, monumental architecture, and systems of governance. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians built city-states like Ur and Uruk, where ziggurats towered over bustling marketplaces. The invention of cuneiform script allowed for record-keeping and the growth of bureaucratic institutions. Meanwhile, the Egyptians constructed massive pyramids and developed a calendar that aligned with the Nile's annual flooding cycle, crucial for agriculture. Similar advances occurred in the Indus Valley, where cities like Mohenjo-Daro featured grid layouts and sophisticated sanitation systems. In China's Yellow River Valley, the Shang and Zhou dynasties pioneered metallurgy, ancestor worship, and early forms of centralized governance. These early civilizations laid the foundations for future empires in culture, politics, and technology. As societies became more complex, so too did their intellectual pursuits. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle examined the nature of knowledge, ethics, and governance. In India, thinkers developed sophisticated schools of thought such as Buddhism and Jainism, while in China, Confucianism and Taoism offered moral and social frameworks. Science flourished in the Islamic Golden Age, 8th to 14th centuries, with scholars translating ancient texts and advancing knowledge in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The European Renaissance revived classical learning and fostered groundbreaking developments in art, architecture, and science. The invention of the printing press in the 15th century revolutionized the dissemination of knowledge. The scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries challenged long-held beliefs. Figures like Galileo, Newton, and Kepler ushered in a new era of empirical observation and experimentation. These advances laid the groundwork for the Enlightenment, which promoted reason, individual rights, and political reform. The 18th and 19th centuries brought another seismic shift, the Industrial Revolution. Originating in Britain, it was powered by coal, steam engines, and mechanized production textile factories, railroads, and steel mills, transformed economies and societies. Urban populations surged as people moved to cities in search of work. New technologies reshaped daily life. Electricity, telegraphs, and eventually automobiles revolutionized how humans communicated and moved. However, industrialization also brought grim working conditions, environmental degradation, and stark economic inequality. Colonial empires expanded during this era, often at significant cost to indigenous populations. The transatlantic slave trade, exploitation of natural resources, and forced cultural assimilation left deep scars. At the same time, global trade networks interconnected distant parts of the world as never before. The 20th century was marked by rapid change. 2 world wars and numerous regional conflicts shaped geopolitics and led to the creation of institutions like the United Nations. The decolonization movement reshaped Africa, Asia, and the Middle East as former colonies gained independence. Scientific advancements exploded during this time. The discovery of DNA, the development of antibiotics, and space exploration redefined human potential. In 1969, Homo Sapiens set foot on the moon, an unimaginable feat just a century earlier. The rise of computers and the Internet revolutionized communication, commerce, and culture. Social movements pushed for civil rights, gender equality, and environmental protection. The information age brought both connection and complexity, as global challenges like climate change, pandemics, and political instability became central issues. Today, Homo sapiens stands at a crossroads. We possess the power to transform our environment on a planetary scale, for better or worse. Biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy offer immense promise, but also raise ethical and existential questions. As we face the challenges of the 21st century, our species must reckon with its past while imagining new possibilities for the future. Will we continue to evolve socially and technologically in a sustainable way, or will our progress outpace our wisdom? The history of Homo sapiens is one of resilience, curiosity, and creativity. From the savannas of Africa to the stars above, our journey is far from over. And while we are the product of millions of years of evolution, the next chapters of our story will be written by the choices we make today. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Compact History, part of the Compact Histories network. You can find more episodes and explore our other Compact shows at compacthistories.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, follow, or subscribe. And if you'd like to support the show more directly, why not consider buying us a coffee at compacthistories.com/historycoffee. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.